anyone present know of any reason that this couple should not be joined in holy matrimony? Speak now, or forever hold your peace.
What kind of intro was that?
Hi and welcome. I'm Xorti Magica and thank you so much for sharing your day with me. I hope you're having a great week and that you're having lots of fun, making new memories, enjoying great food and beverages with loved ones, and most importantly, that you've had great opportunities to truly be yourself. So as you probably already know, this podcast is a pretty random podcast about pretty random things presented in a pretty random way. In fact, if this podcast was like a superhero, it would be probably called something like Captain Random, or The Randomizer, or Random Xort, or Dr. Randomo and Guardians of the Universe is something equally ridiculous, huh? So if you have a random mind like me, it stands to reason that you're probably blessed with a lot of random thoughts. So it probably makes you ponder about a lot of random things. Like, why is an orange, but an apple not a red, right? How about this one? Why is it that when you tell a person that there's million stars in the sky and he'll believe you, but you tell him that a bench is wet and he's gotta touch it? Why do we do that? It's kind of fun, right? How about this one? How do they get deer to cross at the yellow sign? Or, one of the true secrets of the universe, corn oil is made from corn. Olive oil is made from olives. So what does baby oil come from? Yeah, I know, right? Or, why are there interstate highways in Hawaii of all places? How about this one? Why do they say new and improved? It can't be new if it was improved, can it? Or did I miss something here? Now, for those of us who've had kids, we all had to deal with Elmo, right? So my question is, how does Elmo hear? He's got no ears. I've never got that one. So I do have a random mind, and I think you do too. So imagine this one. There's a nightclub in the 1700s, right? And there's a doorman or a bouncer guy. So did George Washington just flash a dollar bill for his ID? Is that how he got in? Okay, so more random thoughts. Why isn't palindrome spelled the same way backwards? Yeah. So when I was a little kid, one of the movies that was interesting to me was The Invisible Man, and then there's the thing of invisible planes. We talked about that last time, and invisible ink. So my question is, how do you tell when you're out of invisible ink? And speaking of writing, if the number 2 pencil is so damn popular, why is it still number 2?
Oh my god.
Okay, how about this one? Why do you have a hot water heater when you don't need to heat hot water? It's already hot. Or did I miss something? Now, for those of us who have scientific random thoughts about these two. If you're in a vehicle going the speed of light, what happens if you turn on your headlights? And if the speed of light is 186,000 miles per second, what's the speed of dark? I actually had a friend of mine a long time ago say this one. Xorti, if 75% of all accidents occur within 5 miles of home, why not move 10 miles away? I thought she was kidding. Okay, and last but not least in today's assortment of random thoughts, how about this one? Why is toilet paper scented? I mean, really, what's the point? It will pick up a scent on its own, right?
Oh my god.
So, what do you think? What random thoughts do you ponder? What mind mysteries do you want to solve? Feel free to share those if you want. On that very ridiculous set of random ridiculous thoughts, I'm going to take a moment to take a break and share some very random clips with you. I'll be right back.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You spelled that wrong.
Hey, welcome back. So one of the things about starting up a new random content podcast is that it's random, and random is a lot of fun. But it's also fun to take something that already exists and see if we can randomize that. For me specifically, I love the stories on Reddit, but the other thing that I really love to read is the Darwin Awards. And with that in mind, I'd like to go ahead and introduce a new segment that may become its own standalone podcast in the future, and is definitely something new for us. I'd like to go ahead and introduce the Darwin Morons. Enjoy.
When you
you don't feel like brain or wrong, or even know what's going on, you'll never be as bad as Darwin Morons. And if you feel a little blue, it doesn't matter what you do, 'cause you'll never be as bad as Darwin Morons. Hi, I'm Xorti Magica, and welcome to the Darwin Moron, a tribute to the world-famous Darwin Awards featuring stories of sheer stupidity, magnanimous idiocy, and rampant nincompoopery by moronic boneheads willing to extricate themselves from human genetics and any possibility of future reproduction. Inspired by Charles Darwin, the Darwin Awards honor people who intentionally contribute to humanity's long-term survival by removing themselves from the gene pool through incredibly stupid actions. These awards celebrate their extreme missteps as a comedic nod to natural selection. Now, on to today's featured Darwin Morons. Story number 1, Hot Bob. Meet Bob Hirschler. Back in April 1998, Bob was a pipe smoker, and chances are he smoked this pipe to relieve stress and attain total relaxation. In fact, he may have been so relaxed that he failed to notice that the pipe he just put in his pocket was still smoldering. That's right, it was still lit. And if that wasn't bad enough, the pocket he put this pipe into also had a book of matches in it, resulting in his clothes catching fire and causing third-degree burns all over his chest and abdomen. Although his family did put out the fire, Bob passed away from pneumonia caused by his Darwinian charbroiled experience. Bob. Story number 2, the gaslit granny. And now we move on to Reva Nix. Reva Nix, a 67-year-old grandmother from Edgewood, Texas, loved her tennis shoe. Loved them. She most likely loved them because she always made it a point to keep them as clean as possible. So back in March 1998, Reva set out to clean the tennis shoes she was wearing on her feet. She started to clean those shoes in a candlelit room. With gasoline! In a candlelit room! Wearing polyester clothes! So you know what happened next, right? So her shoes caught fire, and since she was by herself, she hot-footed over to her neighbor's house for help. Her neighbor did put out the flames, but not before Reva became a human barbecue. So, gasoline to clean shoes? Story number 3, Boom Boom Ballocks. And now we truck up to Pennsylvania and consider the tale of a 17-year-old Darwinian moron. Since we don't know his name, we're gonna call him Dork. So back in January 2009, an injured dork made a claim to the police that persons unknown had placed a lit explosive in his backpack, resulting in serious bodily injury. The story sounded fishy to the police, so the police investigated Dork's claim, and soon the truth came out. Our young Einstein here had found an M80 explosive at his grandma's house, took it to his room, and began playing a game of chicken by repeatedly lighting and extinguishing the lit fuse over and over and over again. Can you guess what happened next? That's right, eventually the fuse failed to go out. So in our panic, our young pyrotechnic moron put the M80 between his thighs and covered it with his hand to try to stifle the explosion. Did that plan succeed? Not even close. After the earth-shattering kaboom, our blowout bonehead lost his right hand, his right leg, and probably his ability to procreate, earning him a very rare ante-mortem Darwin Award. This guy truly is a Darwin moron. Story number 4. The wheels on the bus go straight to the Darwin Awards. Now we cruise on up to Quebec for this next story. Back in 2009, a 24-year-old woman, who we will call Morona since we don't know her real name, needed to catch a bus. But for some unexplained reason, Morona missed the bus. Now at this point, most of us would just kind of hang tight, chill, and simply wait for the next bus to come. But not Morona.
No way.
She couldn't be bothered with any of that. So what does Morona do? She starts running next to the bus in an attempt to get the bus driver to stop the bus and let her in. She's running as fast as she can of soda in hand, trying to get the attention of the bus driver. Did she get his attention? Not exactly. In fact, he couldn't hear her or see her at all. Especially when he started making a sudden right turn that suddenly squished the impatient Moronica, causing her travel to switch from a public bus ride to a post-mortem trip in a private hearse. What a dork. Story number 5. Row, row, row your boom. And now for our last story, we float down to a lake in Illinois. Back in June 1998, Daniel and his friend, who we will refer to as Dorkalo, since we don't know his real name, took a 14-foot aluminum rowboat to Fox Lake to do a little bit of relaxing and fishing. Well, maybe fishing isn't exactly what they ended up doing. So after relaxing for a little bit, these two nitwits decided to try an alternate way of catching fish. Daniel and Dorkalo decided to use an M250 explosive and throw it into the water to blast and kill the fish so that they could catch them. So without any thought to any possible repercussions, the two decided to throw the explosive into the water in front of the boat. Unfortunately for them, a wind gust suddenly pushed the boat forward, right above the still active explosive. They were directly above it just as the M250 exploded, causing the boat to sink about 100 yards from shore. Though Dorkalo was able to swim to shore, Daniel didn't make it. One could say that Daniel literally and figuratively went swimming with the fishes and into the Darwin zone. Yeah. No matter how bad you might feel on a particular day, no matter how challenging life can be sometimes, we can always take comfort in that you will never, ever, ever, ever be as ridiculous as the Darwin Morons. See you next time. Hey, welcome back. Generally, the stories that I share with you are about my own personal experiences, But today I'd like to share a story that was relayed to me by a friend a very long time ago. And it's a story that made a lasting impact on me, so I'd like to share that with you. It happened a long time ago to my friend Janie, who was a social worker at the time. And she was an amazing social worker too. She was really, really good at it. But it was an intense job. So after a very trying day, Janie went out for a random drive. Just to drive with no particular destination in mind. Just to drive to kind of decompress. After driving for a while, Janie ended up in the next town over. And all of a sudden, she had this weird feeling that she should pull over and stop. So she did. She looked around and saw that she was in front of an animal shelter of all places. And even stranger, she had a feeling that she should go inside. Well, to be fair, Janie had always wanted a dog, so she figured it was probably okay to go inside. So she did. Now, if you've never been in an animal shelter, it is a bit overwhelming. Really overwhelming. But Janie handled it. And once she was inside, she figured she'd take one of them home. So she looked around to see which one of them she could connect with. And though they were all great, unfortunately there wasn't a solid connection. As a result, she felt a little dejected. Feeling that, Janie asked the attendant if there were any other dogs around. The attendant then said, "Well, there is one in the back room." "The back room?" "Yes, his stay is almost over," he said. "You mean?" "Yes, I'm afraid so," he said. On an impulse, Janie said, "Well, let me go see him." So the attendant took Janie in the back room where there was a big brown dog on the operating table. Suddenly, that dog leaped off the table and into Janie's arms, almost knocking her over. That dog licked her and cuddled her and loved her like his life depended on it. Because it probably did. Janie loved him right back, instantly. The attendant and said, "I'll take him. He's the one." The attendant smiled and said, "Okay, let's get the paperwork done." Meanwhile, Janie continued holding the dog, and the dog loved it, and she loved it. Then she asked the attendant, by the way, what's his name?" The attendant paused, looked Janie straight in the eye, and said, "Chance. His name is Chance." Janie took Chance home, and he was the best dog ever. And that's the story of Chance. Thank you so much for letting me share that story with you. And how about you? Have you ever had an extraordinary pet experience? One that left an impact on you? If so, please share it. Please do. On that note, I'm going to share a couple of clips with you. I'll be right back.
my god.
Oh my god.
Hey, thank you for letting me be a part of your day and for letting me share my voice with you. I am always grateful to be in your company, and it means so much to me that I get to be a part of your travels. I hope you have a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year. I hope you get to realize your dreams in your own way. For now, have fun, be fun, and be yourself. Bye for now.